So we have a lot of businesses right now, and we're seeing it a lot in the news where businesses are doing cuts. And so we get a lot of questions from our clients. We get a lot of questions from the business community on how should we be thinking about cost cutting, especially during these employment conditions that we're in right now. And so one of the biggest things that we want to make sure businesses understand is that you can't cost cut your way to growth. You can't take short-term view that's going to affect your long-term strategy. And so while we still may need to take cuts and do things in the business that are hard and make those decisions, we don't want to do them without thinking about the longer-term impacts of what that could potentially do to the business. When you really think about it in the long term, it's going to take longer to build your culture back, to build your employment brand back, than it will be to build your sales back. And so most organizations don't think in that way. And for us working with our clients is we want them to always be taking kind of a proactive view to the health of their business, because you don't want to wait until there's a downturn as a leadership team to be looking at things like, are there technology differences that we can make? Can we move to the cloud to save money? Can we be looking at our customers and vendors and the agreements between those to say, is there money that we can gain in terms of bringing profits back into the business that allow us to not cut people, right? And take an impact on our culture or even an impact on strategic projects. So while you can't cost cut your way to growth, you can take this time to refine and really look at the business and say, where can we be healthier so that we have the funds to invest in things that are more strategic, to ensure we have the people on the team that we're going to need in the long term to do the strategic work that we know we need to do. So if and when you need to make difficult decisions in the business, which we're all need to make at some point, the key really is to make sure you're not impacting the long-term strategic aspects of your business, and that you are using that opportunity to be transparent and to build trust with your team. Because when you can tie your cuts and those hard decisions that you're making to your long-term strategy, that's actually going to help your team understand your strategic vision. See that clarity and allow them to understand why you're making the decisions, and that it isn't just about cutting people, and that you can still cut and make hard decisions in the business, but maintain a human-centric approach. So a key story for one of our clients recently, even before they knew they needed to make these changes, was we did this health assessment with the leadership team together. And what that allowed us to do is look at a lot of different factors of their business, starting with the balance sheet. Do we have a line of credit? What does that look like? Does everybody understand, what our options are there? Do we have covenants that we need to meet? A lot of this is just getting a leadership team aligned on what levers we have or don't have in order to be able to pull. Do we know our retention strategies for key employees? Because if we have to make decisions, even the key employees could start to get scared. So we want to have conversations with them about how do you ensure you maintain, even in a downturn, those key employees, and what are those retention strategies. Cross-training is something that we help this client really think through, that if we have to make cuts, especially if you are a production facility where you've got certain skill sets, are we doing that cross-training and ensuring more than one person? We don't have any of those single points of failure in the business that allow us to pull that lever if we need to. And then just really looking overall at the health of our customer and vendor relationships to say, where can we rethink kind of some of those agreements, right? Where is there pricing opportunities with our vendors where we can go to them and get different terms? So there's so many different options that you can do proactively, but what happens is if we wait until we have to make the decision, we typically make the wrong choices because we're shooting from the hip and we're making them out of fear versus out of proactiveness. And so from us and our clients and the work that we do is we're trying to help you as a leadership team have these conversations early and have them often so that you know where the health of the business is in the event you have to make tough decisions.